All right, so I appreciate all the attorneys who said they would be here at 9. There are some who are not here at 9, but it is not my former professor, Mark Stevens. He said he would be here exactly at 9. And in Mark Stevens fashion, he showed up earlier than 9. So I appreciate that. Mark, who's the client you're here for?
John Meyer, Your Honor. Mr. Meyer was in a car accident. He just called me about 10 minutes ago.
Okay.
He'll be here meeting, but that's where he is right.
All right. Well, as an officer of the court, of course, I trust you, Mr. Stevens. All right, Mr. Stevens, if you'll come forward, please. So I understand that your co-counsel is in Austin.
Correct.
So what I'm going to do, it's set for your reset date is going to be August 1st. Let me see. So what we'll do is on August 1st, we'll call him, and based upon your counsel telling me that the jury trial should probably last 3 days, on your case, we'll call him on Tuesday if he's number 1, and then he'll have to be here Wednesday morning, and we'll start picking the jury in the morning with testimony in the afternoon.
Okay, good. Thank you. So we don't have to be, this is not a Monday call, it's a Tuesday call.
Yes.
And the jury would be on Wednesday if we're
Yes. So Mr. Stevens, you and the client will still have to be here on August 1st. So if you'll make sure that your client signs that when he gets here, and then after that's done, you are excused.
That'll work fine for me, and I think it'll work for Baird, but he did. So I asked him about all the days in July. He said he could make July 31st work. So I think that's a whole week. So I think
Yes.
if there's a problem, I'll get back to you as quick as I can.
All right. Thank you.
That'll work good. Thanks.
All right. Thank you.
I'll get a signature.
All right. Arlene Gay. You have Mr. Owen.
There's also a motion that I filed plans and are inspected. I spoke to the state yesterday, and he's not opposed to it.
All right. Do we have a prosecutor who's, can you call, are you going to handle this?
What's the,
Stalking.
I guess the question is what relief is?
Oh, they're asking that he's on full house arrest. Oh, if you all have a seat at the table and we'll take it up. All right. So they are asking for him to be allowed to have his vehicle inspected and get gasoline for his vehicle. Oh, Mr. Owen, take a seat. Yes. So if you want to call, Jason down or text him. All right. And who are you here for, counsel? Yes. All right. Gutierrez. Yes. Tell him to come in.
First,
It is for a reset. So if you will have him come in, and I will give you your reset form. All right, so your jury trial date is going to be August 8th.
Judge, I have a trial setting. It's like pretty old in Brazos County, set on the 7th.
Okay. All right. If you end up in trial there, you'll call us and let us know. All right. Sure.
Yes.
And if you'll give that, once you sign it, if you'll give it to Caroline.
Very much.
You're welcome.
You can and all that.
Oh, you too. We're going to do our best.
They will be excused.
Have a great rest of your day. Yeah. All right, so I'll hear it. Are you ready? Court is calling 2021 CR 1906, State of Texas versus Kevin Owens. Can I have parties announced for the record for the state? Defense? All right, and are you Mr. Owens? All right, so the defense has filed a motion and they're asking that the defendant be allowed to have his vehicle inspected and get gasoline for his vehicle. That's okay. State, have you had a chance to review the defense's motion?
Yes, Your Honor, and the state has no objection.
Okay. All right, so when is he going to get the inspection?
Generally, the client will schedule it. But that's the only part. He gets his inspection and then he can order his registration online. So that is that component.
Don't you just drive to one of those little buildings and go in there?
That's what I'm saying. I would go today and do it.
So I'm trying to figure out what date.
On Friday. Oh, because he's on GPS, his officer requires 24 hours, so he could go on Friday.
All right, so I'll put down that he's allowed to, by agreement, to have this done on Friday. And how long does this, I don't think this takes that long if there's not a crowd.
That is correct. You can't imagine it being more than an hour. I think the last time
An hour and a half? The last time I went, it was 5 minutes. It's like, turn on your brights.
Well, everybody that was there was tardy. On getting their car inspected, so it's quite a lot, but can't imagine.
All right, so I'm just gonna put on Friday, June 16th. And you're gonna have to provide a location. All right. And I'm gonna set your jury trial. For August 1st. And then once you sign the form, you and your client are excused. You're welcome. Robert Featherston, who do you have?
Judge, I'm here with Mr. Rios. We have two cases. One is criminal probability, the other standing.
All right, so I've set you for August 1st.
Okay.
All right,
You are.
you're welcome. If you have your client sign it,
Will do.
and then you are excused.
Thank you.
You're welcome. All right, who's the detective? If you'll come around this way. All right, and Deputy Mejia, I know we're not starting till 9:30, but could you check and see if the jurors? Okay, I understand. Thanks. I hope they get the temperature right today. Temperature correct today. It could happen.
Beautiful, perfect.
Anything's possible.
Just know, it's brand new, so just, it's, we wanted to get. Okay, thanks a lot, and both of our cell numbers are on there. Okay, thanks. Good morning.
Evan Scott. On town side.
We're good, Judge. Fine. We're good. We got all done.
Okay. Thanks, Diana. And Alfonso, is there anything that needs to be on the record or any motions?
Yes, Judge, I just filed for the court's record, motions morning, I think Adriana is stamping them, what is the pitch.
Okay,
There's a state fair copy, see if we can agree,
okay,
but it's nothing that the court hasn't taken up before, where it's just a matter of approaching the court.
okay.
Good.
Okay, thank you. Oh, and Alfonso,
Yes, Judge.
the state, the court just received a motion. They're going to ask that your client be fingerprinted.
Oh, sure.
Yeah, okay.
Can that be done outside?
Oh, most definitely. Victoria, who are you here for?
Good morning, Your Honor. We're on our third day of recall. John Moreno,
All right, where is Mr. Marino?
he is present, Your Honor.
All right, if you'll come forward. All right, we are in the jury trial with the other case. I know, I haven't had you in trial yet, I don't think. It's gonna happen. So you all are set for August 1st. And if you'll have your client sign that, and then you are free to go. Thank you. And thanks for dressing appropriately for court. He does, yes. And so Alfonso, you're not going to have any objections to the fingerprinting, correct?
No, we do not.
All right, so I'm just going to sign it, and then they will do it at a break. Mhm. State,
Oh, he also.
Yes, Judge.
Hank, the motion for fingerprint has been signed, so we can do that during the break. All right, you're welcome.
I apologize, Your Honor. I had one more defendant and he was also present,
Who is it?
Mr. Jose Lozano.
All right, Mr. Lozano, if you'll come forward.
I'm sorry, did I have my contacts on it?
Oh, no problem. Okay, I haven't been able to wear my contacts in a while because my allergies have just been horrible.
Yes, the astigmatism is a problem. It's also a problem for LASIK, apparently.
Well, when my mom had her surgery done on her eyes, they were asking if I wanted to get it done. I'm like, no, I'll probably be that one person that something happens with the vision. And the bad thing about it is they do it on both eyes at the same time. It's like, can you give me one? So in case you mess up, I'll still have the other one. But they're like, no. Oh, and how's his vision now?
Probably that very strong astigmatism,
Mhm.
and it is made more. It's exacerbated by allergies. So it turned, at the beginning, the first day or two, it felt good,
Mhm.
and then it started getting cloudy and cloudy. I'm going, well, your web grew back or something like that.
Oh, surely they would give him a,
We had to do it again. He was not happy. So I don't know if I ever went to much.
I don't know. I think it's a pretty scary proposition.
Well, just the idea of it being not work and you have to do it again.
Yes.
Thank you, Your Honor.
You're welcome. Yes, thank you.
Uh, Let me find it out.
Okay.
That's right, it's a theft.
Oh, no.
So it is you.
John, all right, thank you. All right, everyone, we're missing one juror. So as soon as they come,
Thanks.
Oh, and Caroline, you can just file this. Judge Angelini.
Aaron Scott?
It's.
Just like running.
Are you ready for your business? Deputy, do I bring him over here?
Okay, I don't know why. And we've already reset John Marino, correct? What date? Okay. And that's the case where we need the Arabic interpreter. They said it's for the complaining witness.
Oh.
So I'm going to send them an email to let them know when that date is.
I'll text.
Awesome. Okay, thank you so much. And since they've been reset for August 1st, we probably then won't need the interpreter till August 2nd. All right, would you all be putting the complainant on the stand first or? Okay, so that way they'll know. Oh. Thank you so much. Okay, thank you. You're a lifesaver. I will be hydrated now. And we are just missing one juror. Are all lights dimmed in here? It seems sort of dark, or is this just me? I think they did a poor job. Level of light. Do they not know I read up here all the time? Okay, now that's being dim. Do I have to bring my own light from home? I have to read up here. Thank you. Oh, now that was some great light. Thank you. All right, so are you ready to go on the record? Court is calling 2022 CR 6205, State of Texas versus Louis Patrick Contreras. Can I have parties announced for the record for the state?
Hank Wilkins and Daniel Escobar for the state judge. Daniel is still upstairs, but I can calm down.
All right, thank you. And for the defense?
Good morning, Judge Alfonso Cabañas and Alan McFarland from Mr. Luis Contreras.
All right, and are you Mr. Contreras? All right, so the defense has several motions in limine. I know you're waiting for your co-counsel, but State, are you prepared to proceed on the motion of in limine, or do you wish to wait for your co-counsel?
I'm ready, Your Honor.
All right, please be seated. Motion in limine number one is, I'm assuming defense, this is hearsay.
Yes, Your Honor.
All right. All right, so with regards to this, to the hearsay, an objection just needs to be made that it's hearsay.
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay. Motion in limine number two. Let me read.
Your Honor, and to give the court some background on number two,
Yes.
the police
Oh,
report.
please remain seated. I don't take it as a sign of disrespect. It's easy for the court reporter to hear
Yes,
because
Judge.
you're near the microphones.
The police report talks about some marijuana that was found on a search incident to arrest. I'm unaware, Your Honor, if the marijuana led to a misdemeanor possession charge being filed. If it did, I would ask that in addition to the extraneous offenses, not be commented to or allowed to be brought in during testimony.
All right. So I have a couple of questions. Well, not a couple, maybe one. With regards to the alleged marijuana, is this something that is a part of the alleged offense that we're here today? Or
No, Your
is
Honor.
this something completely separate?
It's separate, Your Honor.
All right, well, that's State.
Your Honor, I don't believe there was a possession charge filed. I was gonna look it up on JD real quick, just to be
Okay.
certain. But I don't anticipate that's not something we're gonna try to elicit from any of the witnesses.
All right, so if this becomes relevant or you all think it's going to become relevant, just approach before you get into that matter.
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay, and motion number three. The name calling.
And Judge, I've filed these with the court before. It is, and I talked to Mr. Wilkins about it. Essentially just calling Mr. Contreras, the defendant, Mr. Contreras, or the accused, not the thief or the robber.
Oh, so I read your motion incorrectly, but State, they're asking that you only refer to their client by his name or the defendant or the accused and not a thief or something of that nature.
But yes, Your Honor, we agree.
Okay. And then the fourth motion in limine is extraneous offenses. You all just need to approach if it's extraneous.
Yes, Your Honor.
Yes, Your Honor.
Is there anything else?
Not from the defense, Judge.
Okay.
Just, if you just give us one moment, Daniel's on his way down.
Oh, we're waiting for a juror.
Okay, I just want to make sure before they came in.
All right, thank you.
Thanks, Joe.
Santa Jason, you got it, man.
Jump right in, right?
No, I haven't opened
Next
it
man
yet.
up.
Okay, let
Yeah,
me,
that happened in
all right, let me try. My internet has been extremely slow, so it takes a while for the Bridge mobile to open for me.
Somebody that didn't even read
Okay.
the case at the beginning. I was impressed they were able to pull together.
This is what Mr. Contreras wrote to us yesterday.
Everybody's here?
If you have any questions, feel free to ask.
Judge, on that one that you showed me yesterday, I think it was, not the name, but the one where they fled him to a state jail. It was third
Yes.
degree.
And so,
I didn't, I mean, to correct it, I don't know if y'all corrected it yet, but the only thing I can think of is the spirit of the agreement was a state jail, so if we did an attempted third, fraud,
Mhm.
then it would make it
Because I know that was the intention.
right.
Just give me a moment. Let me. uh, Is Oh, Mahia, Dinah just went looking for you. Yeah, we're ready.
Just so that you can have a moment.
State Defense, are you all ready?
Yes, Judge.
All right.
Just one, I'm gonna make copies. I just spoke to the complainant. There's just copies of the meeting that I had with them. I'm just gonna provide you guys.
Okay.
But. okay, we can go on to that.
Is the complainant the first witness that's being called?
Yeah, yeah.
All right, so depending on what's in there, it may not make its way in this trial.
And Judge, it's the first time we really got a chance to talk to him, to show him the statement. Again, the second that we got it.
I understand, but if that's something that the defense does not want in, it's not coming in.
Yeah, Judge.
Okay, thanks.
But I think the police have, I think it's just the first time that we're like the state, like the people who are prosecuting have gotten a chance to really talk to him. 'Cause I know like police have talked to him, like sheriffs have talked to him, but I don't think they've had a chance to.
Yes. All right, thanks. And I sent an email. You're welcome. Is there a Terrence Scott here? No. All right. Okay, all right, thank you. Okay. Oh, just give us one moment. Yes, just 1 second. Tell them they can stretch. And Jason, there's someone from Managed Assigned Counsel. They're coming down on Al Anezi. That's Raphael Leal's client. And it's an aggravated assault with a deadly weapon. So they're going to come down to speak to Mr. Al Anezi. Okay. I'm unsure, but we, Caroline will. Okay. All right. Okay. All right. Thank you. All right. I'm sorry, defense, did you have a chance to review that or?
Briefly, Judge, I know the jury's outside, so if we could approach.
Yes.
And.
Okay. Could you have the jurors just wait, tell them just wait in the jury room just briefly and we'll get them ASAP. Did anybody make a copy for me?
Of course, Judge.
Oh, thank you.
Do you know when to step back, Judge?
Oh, sure. All right, defense. And we're on the record. Yes, defense.
Judge, so it's my understanding from talking to the state that that document that I gave you were some notes taken of the complainant in this case, and I believe they were taken either this morning or yesterday.
This morning.
This morning.
Mhm.
And so I think the court addressed it correctly when it said that I could ask for those items or that evidence to not be introduced. I did talk to the state about it. It's essentially the complainant's story changing again.
Mhm.
I don't believe that there's anything new other than a statement that again goes to, I guess, kind of the strategy in this case, a statement where the complainant allegedly says that he was trying to get my client into the Haven for Hope homeless shelter.
Okay, so are you asking that this be excluded?
Well, Judge, yes, I would ask that this be excluded
Okay.
since I was just handed it this morning.
All right, so what the court will do, and I don't know what's in the state's file or what you've been turned over, but obviously both of you know. If there's something in this statement that the defense has not previously received, then it's excluded. If it is something that the defense has already received and is aware of, then it's not excluded. State?
And Judge, many of those statements are consistent with what he told officers on that day and told detectives later on. He does acknowledge that he did at one point in his original statement, he did lie to the police. That's in the notes. He does say that to detective Patsy. From what I can gather here.
Okay.
So there's a statement where he goes into more detail as for how he met the defendant. That I don't know if he gives the full detail. He did just get the full detail of that whenever he told us this morning. And when I asked him in depth, how did you actually meet the defendant? And that's where it's that night in front of the shop to see if it belonged.
All right, so defense, are you going to have any objection to the complainant going into more detail as to how he met your client?
No, Judge, I mean, he'll be open to cross-examination, so I have
Right.
no,
So he's not going to have any objection with how they met as far as excluding it. The defense is saying that he'll take that up on cross-examination.
Right, Judge. And then just again, it's just more details that he's providing us. It is similar to what he said on that day. It's not exactly word for word what he said to the officers, but it is of a similar nature that says, it's, in essence, a similar rundown.
So defense, which parts of what you've been handed you think should be excluded?
well, Judge, in looking at everything, and I'm torn, Your Honor, because I'm entitled or I can ask for an exclusion of this statement,
Mhm.
but I'm torn because a lot of these items that he talks about contradict his two other statements. And so, for example, one of the questions here is, and he doesn't talk about it during the interview, Mr. Loomer says, I was just trying to get your client, Mr. Contreras, to the Heaven for Hope shelter. Which, didn't come up until this morning.
Yes. So the counsel, if you want it excluded, then the court will exclude it. If you do not want it excluded and you want to take it up on cross-examination, you can. Just let the court know what you would like or which parts of it you would like. If you want parts of it excluded, and those will, again, will be parts that you are unaware of, the court will exclude it.
No, Judge, I'm okay with everything as long as I get to cross them on.
Oh, most definitely.
Yes, Your Honor.
All right. So defense, so the record is clear. The statement that was given to you today, which is 3 pages, you're not asking for it to be excluded by the court?
I'm not, this isn't going to be a State's Exhibit 1 to be introduced, is it?
No,
Okay.
it was my own handwritten notes during my conversation with him so that I made sure that you had, if there were any differences, that we comply with the Michael Morton Act and made sure to give over anything.
Judge, and then regarding this 3-page handwritten notes provided by the state, the defense has no objections to the state questioning Mr. Loomer on these items.
Okay. All right, thank you.
Thank you,
Deputy,
Judge.
can you line them up? Hi, come forward.
Jesus Christ. That's-
No problem. On this case, we've been having. Right.
Nothing.
Yeah.
Just fixed it. And there's on the photos, there's nothing that shows. It's bad.
It's okay.
I thought you were dead. You were asking me a question.
Right. You think I'm dead? Are you gonna ask if I'm okay?
Yeah. Yeah, man. Yeah, man. What I said, right here. If you could get the camera to that place. What's that? The camera footage
Do you
on
know
that
the
day,
advocate for
he came
CTV?
back and forth like 3 times. That's what
Is
I'm
that, there's a
doing.
family outside and they
Back
thought
and
that
forth, back and
they had it.
That's fine. I was gonna say,
Thank you so much, Your Honor.
You're welcome.
Thank you.
There's
Good to let
there's a.
that the changes so
the
much.
victim's family, but I don't think it's the
And
same.
then.
Mhm.
so if you remember last week,
Okay.
Yeah, oh, sure.
Home goes, but you'd have to look up on Facebook where. I had just got a job at Sun and Burn. So. There's. Like.
Yes.
that was really right.
Sure.
So, this, okay.
His name is.
They're currently.
Okay.
Let's just give you that sense of. Was, again, something to change.
Sure. Oh, no, I appreciate that. I always have them to let defense give them some ideas, so you know when to have your witnesses here. So I will tell you for your case then, because we may go into the afternoon, and if we end up recessing early, we recess early. Just make sure that if you have any witnesses, they're here tomorrow at 1:30. Okay. All right, thank you. And Barbara is working on the charge. It's just a skeleton charge. And you all can add what you want to add and take away what you want to take away. So, okay, you're welcome. I can't even answer my cell phone anymore. You know why? Because either it's Medicaid, Medicare, or either it's my warranty is out.
We get a language part.
Mhm.
So what do we do with this guy is?
We're ready.
We should even jump to this first.
Mhm.
Oh, please be seated. We stand for you all. All right, everyone, please be seated. All right, I know we're starting a little bit later than expected. I had a couple of cases that ran over. I hope everyone was able to find parking. Remember, if anybody ever needs a break, just do the break sign. Either I will see it, or the defense, or the state will see it, or the deputies, and they'll let me know that you need a break. So don't be shy if you need a break. I know you were given the oath downstairs, but I'm going to give you the oath for this case. So if you could please raise your hand for me, your right hand. Do each of you solemnly swear or affirm in the case of the state of Texas versus Luis Contreras, you will a true verdict render according to the law and the evidence, so help you God? All right, you can lower your hand. State.
True bill of indictment. In the name and by the authority of the state of Texas, grand jury of Bexar County, state of Texas, duly organized and sworn as such at the May term AD 2022 of the 187th Judicial District, who said court that in the county and state aforesaid and anterior to the presentment of this indictment, on or about the 30th day of March 2022, Luis Patrick Contreras III, hereinafter referred to as defendant, while in the course of committing theft of property with intent to obtain and maintain control of said property, did intentionally and knowingly threaten and place James Loomer in fear of imminent bodily injury and death. And the defendant did use and exhibit a deadly weapon, to wit, a knife, that in the manner of its use and intended use was capable of causing death and serious bodily injury against the peace and dignity of people.
How do you plead to that?
Not guilty.
All right, thank you. You may be seated. State, do you have opening statements? All right, you may proceed.
You're gonna hear. You're gonna hear from our primary witness. Now, on March 29th, going into March 30th. Mr. Loomer is going to tell you about how he picked up a homeless man that was living close to where he was. I know that sounds strange. It sounds strange. It sounds strange. He's not trying to hide that. Now, we're gonna hear from Mr. Loomer that he saw this homeless man out of the store, and he decided to offer him food, place to sleep, and a place to wait. You're also gonna hear from Mr. Loomer that when he woke up the next morning, the defendant had been sleeping in his place of work. Mr. Loomer was asleep in his room, kind of come out to the eyes. He woke up the defendant and he asked some questions. You want breakfast? What do you want to eat? Things of that nature. From there, you're gonna hear from Mr. Loomer and he's going to describe what happened next. In that the defendant aggressively woke up and that he was asking, where's the eight? Mr. Loomer didn't know what he was talking about. And as all this was happening, the defendant was touching a bunch of his things, going through some of his property. Mr. Loomer asked him to leave. And at that point, as he was going through from the property, the defendant took a knife out. He hit Mr. Loomer in the eyebrow. Cut him open pretty bad. You're gonna hear, sounds like a strange story. What happened after that was that Mr. Loomer went outside of his home, went to a neighbor and asked her to call 911. At that same time, the defendant left the house. He survived. He continued his statements. Well, Mr. Loomer's man said, listen, he lied at the start. Wasn't truthful. He said that the defendant showed up at his home and that he was asking for a mutual acquaintance and that he asked to sleep, he asked to stay there. And Mr. Loomer let him in. And he said this because he was embarrassed. Now, Mr. Loomer's gonna tell you he's embarrassed because that's a homeless person that you don't know staying in their house. He picks them up from down the street and brings them back. You're also gonna hear part of a statement that the defendant gave to detectives after he was out there. Now, in that statement, the officers already been put back to the already asked, have you read your rights? You don't have to talk to him, you have to go do it. The defendant does give a statement. He gives his rendition of things. In his rendition, Mr. Loomer did pick him up. In his rendition, Mr. Loomer gave him the items that were found on his person. His version, Mr. Loomer could accept the advances. That at that point, the defendant wanted to. Story differs because in the defendant's version, he says that he doesn't remember hitting Mr. Loomer. There's a giant gap where Mr. Loomer got around. That he instead pushed him down. He's going to say that Mr. Loomer was making advances towards him that he was uncomfortable and that he wanted to. And I understand it sounds incredibly strange. And it's something that students don't want to talk about. What I want you to do is listen to the evidence, listen to what he has to say.
Defense?
Thank you, Judge. Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. This case is about half truths. And I tell you what, the story that led to y'all being here this morning, us being here this morning, that story, as far as you're here, is a complete fabrication. It was rumors that I'm going to make this absolute whole lie. From the moment that law enforcement, from the second that law enforcement was fabricating this actually this whole lie. He lied to his neighbor. He lied to law enforcement, not once, twice. This morning, with the evidence, he gave another interview. Separate interview. So what happened? On March 29th, Louis Patrick Contreras, you'll hear from the evidence, is a homeless man. Homeless, he lives on the street, eating whatever leftover food he can find, whatever leftover food is not rotten in trash cans. Sleeping anywhere to find, or at least feel safe for that one night, not knowing where he's gonna sleep next or where he's gonna. James Loomer, on the other hand, has a house. And on March 29, 2022, that's when his actually full line begins. James Loomer decides to drive around town and look for people. Homeless person. Take home. You hear from the evidence, and it's not something to be embarrassed about. But you hear from the evidence that it doesn't work for any sort of charity. Doesn't work for them. Hope doesn't work for charities, Salvation Army, courthouse, nothing. He doesn't work for any of those charities. Okay? He finds Louis Contreras at a gas station. Drives around multiple times. Finally goes up to him. A complete stranger, doesn't know him. This Ramon guy that the state talked about, guess what? That's another fabrication. Initially. Tells the cops, I met this stranger, Mr. Contreras, I met him through a mutual friend. Ramon. Mattress was given, you were here in the corner was given, no asking. He told Louis, hey man, I don't know you, but why don't you come on home, my house? You're a stranger, you're homeless, unemployed, you're on the streets. The evidence will show you he invites him to his house. What his intentions were, here from the evidence. It says, I'm gonna make you feel comfortable. The evidence will show you he invites him to his house. He doesn't force him to his house, he invites him to his house. So on March 29th, you hear from the evidence that Louis Contreras spends a night at Mr. George's house. Spend the night. Needs clothes, items to sell. Hey, you're on your arrival, here's some of my stuff, go sell it, make yourself some money. On March 30th, 2022, in the morning, when all this happened, Louis Contreras is asleep in the living room. He wakes up and he finds Mr. Loomer, and you'll see from the evidence, you'll see the videos, you'll see the photos. You'll see that Mr. Loomer wakes up and is completely nude next. Evidence begins to make sexual advances. Touch him, ask him, it's telling him, hey man, I need to do some sexual stuff to you. Doesn't want to leave. Holding on to him, grabbing him, the evidence will show you that he does not let him leave his house. The evidence will also show you that when this struggle is going on, Mr. Contreras pushes him away. He goes, get out, and get away from me. Pushes him away. Won't let him leave. Finally, blocks him. Blocks him in the head and leaves. He leaves with his backpack, leaves with his clothes. The items that he was given. And this is important too, because you'll hear from the evidence. Mr. Loomer says, oh, he stole these things from me. there's a bull in the house, and before he left, he says, took some things from the bull. I believe from the evidence you'll hear as well, and this bull is important because there was a fingerprint analysis by Officer Sanderson. There's some principles. The evidence will show you that the another half truth, another full lie. Testifying is usually gets inside of the story. Keep in mind, it's a completely fabricated story. Okay. He then meets with, and you hear from the evidence, with the neighbor, Sir Tucci. Tucci is a woman who calls 911. Who's told by James. You hear from the evidence that Tucci meets with the officers. So yeah, I saw this guy walking out of the house, not running, but walking. Rosa then finds Mr. Loomer, and you hear from the evidence, Mr. Loomer tells him exactly what happened. Mr. Contreras doesn't change the story. It says exactly what happened. He said, I'm at the gas station, this guy go up. Hey man, I want to party with you. Let's go party. Mr. Contreras, I don't swing that way. From the evidence, he agreed to go with him. Fine, you know, I'll give you some food house, give you some the evidence that Rosa said, hey man, Mr. Contreras. That's not what Boomer told us. Because again, that's exactly what happened. Then you hear from the evidence, Donna Rosa goes back to the house, goes back to Boomer's house. Hey man, be honest. You hear from the evidence that this second time, after being called out by the detective, Mr. Loomer, he doesn't tell us the truth, he tells another half truth. Hold on. Okay. Ladies and gentlemen, at the end of this evidence, you'll hear again, this is nothing but half truth, whole lot. Listen to the evidence, don't jump to the conclusion of law enforcement, don't jump to the conclusion. Because this man was always for committed an offense. Even after hearing the testimony, knowing that Mr. Loomer lied multiple times as to what happened.
State, call your first witness. All right. Okay, thanks. All right, if you'll raise your right hand for me, please. Do you solemnly swear or affirm the testimony you give will be the truth and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
Yes, I do.
All right, you can lower your hand. Make sure you keep your voice up so that the jurors and the court reporter can hear. If you'll state your name and spell it.
James Glenn Loomer. That's JAMES GLENNLOOMER.
All right, state.
Mr. Loomer, can you make sure that the microphone is closed? Mr. Loomer, what do you do for work?
I'm unemployed at this moment.
How long have you lived in San Antonio?
In San Antonio, I came here with the Air Force in 1986
How long were you with the Air Force?
for 10 years.
What side of San Antonio do you live on?
Now I live in the northwest side.
Back to March of 2022, where did you live?
I'm sorry,
March of 2022.
on 3006 Tawny Oak Drive,
And what side of the town is that on?
North Central, I guess.
Is that in Bear County?
Yes,
So I'm gonna get straight into it, sir. So on March 29th of 2022, you recall picking, what you believe to be a homeless man up from a store near your home?
Yes, I do.
Where was that store?
It was Moss Rock and Vance Jackson.
How far away from your home was that?
I don't know. I'm not much about miles, but I would say maybe half a mile, maybe less.
Had you ever seen this person before?
No,
Had you ever talked to this person?
no.
And here, sir, if you can, make sure, just for the court reporter, let me finish asking the question before.
Oh, I'm sorry. I thought you asked me if I've seen this person before.
I did, sir. I think you just kind of, cut into me. So. What drew your attention to this man?
I thought he was dead. I drove by a couple of times. I was doing some errands, and every time I drove by, he was in the same spot and he was laying down. And I thought maybe he was, I've never seen anybody laying there like that before. And it was dark. It was, well, early evening, I guess. And I thought he was dead.
And so around, you said early evening, did you know what time you saw him at?
I thought, you know what? I don't remember for sure.
But it was, you believe to be early.
Yes.
So, did you approach him?
No, I did not approach him. I pulled up in my car alongside where the place that he was laying at.
And did you try and talk to him?
I rolled down my window and I said, "Hey, are you okay?" And he didn't answer. And I said, "Hey, are you okay?" And he didn't answer. So I was like, I'm like, "Hello?" And then all of a sudden he just like kind of just, woke up.
And when he woke up, what did you tell him?
I said, "Are you all right?" And he said, I don't remember what he said.
Did you offer to let him stay in your home?
No, I did not offer him. What I did was I asked him, I said, I live close by. Would you like to come over and take a shower and get something to eat?
And why did you make this offer?
Because I was worried about him.
So did he accept your offer?
At first he didn't. And then I left and then I came back and then I said, "Are you sure? Because it's not a problem. I mean, I could take you to Haven to Hope tomorrow."
So did he finally accept your offer?
Eventually, yes, yeah, obviously he did because see, I don't remember much about all this. So I'm trying, I don't remember exactly. He did accept, he did come with me, yes.
And it's okay if you don't remember words, sir. You say that you don't remember words.
Okay.
It's just, again, just answer the question.
Okay.
So you took him home. What happened after you took him?
What do you mean by what happened?
So what do you want to got you?
Well, he came out, well, before we walked in the house, I told him, I said, just do me a favor, when we get in the house, please leave all your things at the front door. And please don't wander around my house and going through my things. I said, I'll show you where the bathroom is. And if you need anything, you ask me and I'll bring it to you.
So why did you tell him to do that?
Because I didn't want him to steal anything.
And once you told him that, what did he do?
He did. He put his stuff down and he went to the bathroom. Now, he went to the bathroom right away when we got there and then I assume he cleaned up. I don't know, because he was in there for quite a while. And then, yeah,
Did you give him any clothes to wear?
no, I don't remember.
Did you give him any clothes to wear?
I don't remember.
Now, after he was done cleaning himself up, what happened?
I don't remember exactly, but I'm assuming that, I told him where to sit in the living room. And I said, now, you can go ahead and stay right here and I'll make you something to eat. I had some ham and cheese. I made him a ham and cheese sandwich.
And where exactly did you tell him to sit?
Right in the living room, there's a recliner by the window. And I said, and it reclines back to almost like a bed. So I said, well, listen, I said, you know what, this is going to, you can stay here, sit here and sleep here. And there was a sofa there where I would be, so I could keep an eye on him.
And did he end up falling asleep there?
Yes.
Did you end up falling asleep on the
No,
sofa?
I did not sleep. I was too scared to go to sleep.
Where did you end up going once he fell asleep?
I was on the sofa the whole time with my dog.
So Did you, so you did not fall asleep that night?
No, I did not sleep. I was too scared. I mean, I wanted to help him, but I wasn't comfortable enough to go to sleep, thinking that it would be safe for me just to go to sleep with a stranger in my house.
So what time did you wake up the next morning?
I didn't go to sleep. So I mean, I didn't wake up because I didn't go to sleep.
So what time did you start to get up for the day?
My normal morning routine is my dog likes to go outside about 8 o'clock in the morning. So it was probably about 8 or so.
But you don't remember.
I don't remember exactly what time it was.
So when you finally started the process of getting up, what did you do?
I offered to make breakfast tacos.
And what did he say in response?
I don't remember exactly what he said, but we didn't get to the breakfast tacos.
What instead happened after you asked him and he didn't?
He started rummaging through my things.
So when you say rummaging through your things, what do you mean?
He was going around like my living room area and my entryway area where I have a dresser with things, and in my dining room area. And he was, I don't know, he was looking for something. I don't know what he was looking for.
Was he saying anything while he was doing this?
Yeah, where's the H?
Now, what did you take at the time? What did you take that to mean?
I had no idea.
Object to speculation, Judge.
Sustained.
I had,
Sir, if you don't know whether you can answer the question, just ask the judge, okay? So he's asking you, where's the H? What was he doing while he's saying this?
what was he doing? He was rummaging through my things.
Now, what did you say in response?
I said, what do you mean by H?
What did he say in response to that?
He didn't say,
Object to hearsay, Judge.
he didn't say anything to me.
Excuse me, sir.
I'm sorry, I'm sorry,
No,
I'm
no,
sorry.
no. I'm just going to explain some rules to you, okay?
Okay.
When either counsel asks you a question, if somebody stands up, that means that they're objecting to something.
Okay,
So once you see one of the defense attorneys stand up, stop talking,
okay,
and then I'll make a ruling.
okay, I'm
And
sorry.
then if you
Mhm.
have a question over whether or not you can answer, just ask me.
Okay, so stop saying anything.
Yes, once you see an attorney stand up.
Okay, got it.
All right. Ask your question and then the court will hear what the objection is.
What did he say? What did he say in response to when you said, what do you mean by H?
Objection to hearsay, Judge.
All right. And who is the person you're asking,
It has not,
speaking?
has not been identified as the defendant, but it's going to be the defendant.
All right, then you need to lay the foundation for who you're speaking about. So the objection will be sustained.
Do you recognize the gentleman that you picked up here in the courtroom today?
Do I what?
Recognize the gentleman who you picked up in the courtroom today? Do you see him?
Well, I assume it's right there.
Do you know?
No,
Do you remember what he looks like?
no.
So he ended up responding saying, where's the H? He was rummaging through your things. Did he have anything on him when he was rummaging through your things?
On him at first, no.
But eventually, what did he have eventually?
When it got closer to when I told him it's time for you to leave, I'll take you wherever you need to go. He was in the entryway and he had a knife in his hand.
Which hand did he have the knife in? Do you remember?
I don't remember exactly.
Now, were you trying to get him to leave?
Yeah, when he started rummaging through my things, I said, it's time for you to go.
Did he say anything in response to that?
I don't remember.
Now, how did you try to get him to leave?
I opened the front door and I opened up the screen door and I propped it open and I pointed to the door and I pointed outside and said, you need to go now.
And what happened after you said that?
He punched me in the head
Where did he punch you?
right above my eye.
Did you fall after he hit you?
I didn't fall. I hit it. He hit me so hard that I went up against the door. My glasses went flying and all I saw was blood going everywhere.
And how did you react upon getting hit?
I was shocked and I ran out the door. I ran across the street to my neighbor's house and knocked on her door.
And when you ran to your neighbor's house, what did you do?
I asked her to call the police.
And while you were at your neighbor's house, could you see the defendant?
No, I didn't. Well, I was facing door talking to my neighbor lady, and then as I turned around to go back towards the house, he was coming out the door holding, I don't know what, a big box of something, I don't know what. And I asked my neighbor, I said, please take a picture, because she had her phone with her, take a picture of him because he's got a bunch of stuff in his hands.
And did you see exactly what he had in his hands?
No, I did not.
Once he left your home, what did you do?
I went back inside to check on my dog because I was worried about her.
And did you notice anything missing once you were inside?
Not right away, no. I was still dizzy from getting punched
Did the police arrive?
shortly after, yeah.
And do you remember speaking with them?
Do I remember now speaking? No, I don't. Yeah, I don't, no,
So you don't remember the specifics?
no.
When you spoke to the officers, did you tell them what happened?
I mean, it was a,
Judge, I'm gonna object. I think Mr. Loomer just testified that he doesn't remember what he said to the police. So when the state follows up with, did you tell them what happened? Excuse me. He just testified to the jury. He doesn't know what he,
So again, did you tell the police what happened?
yes,
And do you recall what you told the police happened?
yeah, that I got punched in the head and some guy ran off with my stuff.
Did you lie to the police whenever you first spoke with them?
I, yes,
What did you lie
about how he got to my house.
What did you recall telling the police?
I was embarrassed, so I told him that the guy showed up knocking on the door.
So the first version of events was that he showed up to the door. Like, if you can answer.
Yes,
So why were you embarrassed?
because I picked up a homeless man that assaulted me in my home. And I didn't want to tell the cop, oh, it's all my fault. I deserve it.
Were you worried that they were going to judge you?
Oh, yes. I mean, I judge myself now every day. I think to myself, you know what? I don't think I would help a homeless person again.
So did you end up talking to detectives once they arrived on the scene?
Yes, I did.
And how long after the initial conversation did you do that?
Can you repeat the question?
How long after your initial conversation with the police did that conversation with the detectives happen?
It's all a blur to me. It all happened with what? I mean, I don't remember the times.
Do you remember if it was a short time, a long time?
It seemed like the cops were there forever.
But it happened in the same, I guess, series of events.
Yes,
When you spoke to the detectives, did you tell them the same story that you had told the first responding officer?
no, at first responding officers, I told them that he came to my house. The second, and the detectives asked me again, and I told them the truth.
But did you at first tell the detectives the first story?
Yes,
So you tell the detectives the new story. And then from there, do you recall any conversation coming up in regards to sexual advances you could have made against the defendant?
repeat the question.
Do you recall the topic of possible sexual advances you made against the defendant? Do you recall that being brought up?
No,
Did you make any sexual advances towards the defendant?
absolutely not.
Did you offer any type of sexual favors?
Absolutely not.
Did you give him any items to leave with from your home?
No, I don't remember.
Did you end up being treated at the scene?
Yes, above my left eye, gushing blood. The ambulance driver could not stitch it. It was so bad.
Okay, so you got treated at the scene by an ambulance.
By the ambulance driver, yes. But then I had to go to the hospital.
And when did you end up going to the hospital?
Up after the cops left, 3 or 4 hours later.
Now, before the police left, did you end up going anywhere with the detectives?
Yes, I did,
Where did you end up going?
to identify the person.
How did they do this identification? Where were you?
I was in the back of the police car.
And were you told to look in a certain direction? What was told to you? Do you remember?
Yeah, I was told to yes, I was told to look towards the other police car.
And when you looked at the other police car, did you see anyone?
Yes,
Who did you see?
I saw the man that assaulted me.
And were you able to positively identify him to?
Yes, I did.
Now, I'm going to show you. It's going to end up being marked. Oh, Your Honor, may I approach the bench?
Yes.
May I approach the witness, Judge?
Yes, you may.
So I'm trying to mark the stages exhibit 1 through 6. Do you recognize these?
That's me.
Okay. What are they photos of?
Photos of my head being bandaged up from the EMS driver.
So let's go to State's Exhibit 1. What is that a photo of?
I'm sorry.
What is State's Exhibit 1 a photo of?
Photo of my head being bandaged up with my glasses on.
Okay. And what's State's Exhibit number 2?
That's me with my puppy on the sofa,
Okay. And what
bandaged up and with my glasses on.
State's Exhibit number 3?
Blood on my hands.
State's 4.
Same as the other one.
Okay. State's 5.
That is me on my sofa, bandaged up with my dog.
And then State 6.
That's me standing in my living room, bandaged up.
And how long after these events were these photos taken?
God,
Do you recall?
like, well, it all happened within 3 or 4 hours space. And I'm sure that, the ambulance driver didn't show up right away. The police showed up first. And then the ambulance driver showed up. So I assume maybe an hour.
Okay. But it was pretty close in
Yeah,
time.
yeah.
How do you
So
know?
it's gushing blood.
And how do you know it was close in time to what happened?
How do I know? Oh, because I'm wearing the scrub top.
Okay.
See, I wasn't wearing the scrub top at first.
Okay. At first, what were you wearing?
Nothing. I didn't have not nothing, no shirt.
And so these are all true and accurate depictions of you close in time to what happened.
Yeah, I believe so.
Your Honor, State would offer State's Exhibit number 1, 3, 4, and 5 in evidence.
Defense.
Judge, with regards to 1, 3, 4, and 5, I'm going to object to improper foundation on establishing the photos.
All right. And with regards to number 6,
Oops, Judge, 2 and 6 are duplicates. They were photos that were marked, that were just duplicates of photos that were already.
so you're not offering 2 and 6?
No, Judge, I'm not.
All right. Then with regards to states exhibits 1, 3, 4, and 5, those are admitted over objection.
Permission to publish, Judge?
Granted.
Mr. Hoover, do you remember what items were taken from your home on that day?
There was a figurine that I received when I went to do my reserve duty in England. It was a pewter figurine of a dragon. There was a couple pairs of scrub pants that I had hanging on the door by the front door on the doorknob or on a hanger thing. And a blanket, the blanket that was on the chair where he was slept.
Now, do you recall accusing the defendant of taking more items than that?
I didn't know what he took. I mean, I know, all I know is I saw him walking out of the house with a box like this, and I know that when he got there, he only had a backpack. So I assumed he had a whole lot more stuff. And I ran back in the house because I was afraid he had my dog in the box.
So, but did you ever accuse him of taking your phone?
What?
Did you ever accuse him of taking your phone?
Taking my phone?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, because I couldn't find it.
And were you?
I thought I located it after the madness.
So how valuable were these items that you took?
I don't know what the value of the pewters figurines were because I bought it in England in 1990. It was pewter with crystal and all that. I don't know what the value was. And
Mayor Pro Tem Whitney, sir.
Yes.
Mr. Bloomer, I'm showing you what's being marked as, what was marked as State's Exhibit number 8 and 9. Sorry for going out of order there.
okay,
But what State's Exhibit number 8, a photo
that's
of?
a picture of my two pairs of scrub pants and the blanket from the chair that the person was laying in.
Okay, and is that an accurate photo of those items?
Yes,
And then I'm showing you State's Exhibit number 9. What are these photos of?
that's my Pegasus pewter figurine that I got from England with the crystal, and that's the dragon pewter figurine with the crystal that was taken off my shelf by the door.
State would offer State's Exhibit number 8 and 9 in evidence.
Any objection?
No, Judge.
All right, states exhibits 89 are admitted without objection.
You mentioned about the knife earlier, sir. Did you find a knife in your home once the defendant left? And what did you do with the knife whenever you found it?
Well, I didn't want to touch it, but I grabbed a piece of receipt paper that was laying nearby. I used it to pick the knife up, and I carried it.
Yes.
Do you recognize this?
Yeah, that was a knife.
Okay. And is it a true and accurate depiction of the knife that it appeared on that day?
Yes, it is.
What's that paper that's?
That's
wrapped
the
around it?
receipt that I used to pick it up with because I didn't want to get my fingerprints on it.
Your Honor, State would offer State's Exhibit number 7 into evidence.
No objection to state 7, Judge.
All right, states exhibit number 7 is admitted without objection.
Permission to publish.
Granted.
Now, one other inconsistency that you had, sir, you had mentioned someone by the name of Ramon to police in your statement.
I don't remember that.
But if you had, you know someone by the name of Ramon? Sorry, sir.
I don't remember Ramon.
Now, did you feel in fear when the defendant was going through your items?
Yes, I did.
What was
Because I
your,
had asked him, I'm sorry.
what was your fear?
My fear was that he was looking to steal from me.
Did you think that he was going to hurt you?
Not until I saw the knife.
And when you saw the knife, what did you think?
I said, yeah, now I need to worry about, I'm looking for my phone, wanting to call 911. I can't find my phone. So I went towards the door to open it up. Ask him to please leave. If you don't leave, I'm going to go get my neighbors.
Were you in fear for your life?
Yes, I was.
Pass the witness.
Defense?
Thank you, Judge. Mr. Loomer, good morning. I'm going to be asking you some questions. Mr. Loomer, I promise you that the purpose of my questions are not to confuse you. They're not to mislead you. They're just questions that I need to ask for the jury to understand what happened here, okay? And I'm going to jump a little bit out of order. And so the first thing that I want to talk to you about is this. You told the jurors that you drove around, was it the Vance Jackson area? When you, no?
No, I told him, no, I didn't tell jurors.
Okay. Let me be a little bit more specific. What area or what gas station did you drive by when you picked up Mr. Contreras?
I went to the 7-Eleven on 410 in Vance Jackson, and then on my way, I'm trying to think.
Well, here, let me help you with that. So you went to the 7-Eleven, right?
To get cigarettes, yeah.
Okay. You told the jurors that you're driving around and you see an individual that in your belief appears to be dead, right?
I thought he was, yeah. He wasn't moving. He was, he was in a strange place. I've never seen anybody be at before.
Okay. And so you believe he's dead, but yet you don't call 911 or EMS to report somebody that you believe is dead, correct?
Okay, so can we backtrack here? I drove down
Well,
Moss Rock.
Give me 1 second.
Okay.
Let's go in order.
Okay,
You just finished telling the juror you thought that individual was dead, correct?
not the first time I saw him, I drove by Moss. I drove down Moss Rock to go to the 7-Eleven. As I drove by, I saw somebody
I'm gonna
laying there.
object to non-responsive, Judge.
All right, that will be sustained. You need to listen to the
I
question.
know,
No,
but it was in the wrong order,
Stop.
right? I'm sorry.
you need to listen to the
Okay,
question and answer the question that's being asked of you, okay?
okay.
All right, thank you.
Okay, Mr.
State-
Loomer, so very simply.
I'm sorry, defense.
Yes, Judge. Very simply, Mr. Loomer, you see this individual and you believe that individual is dead, right? Is that a yes?
Yes,
Okay. And yet you don't call 911 or an ambulance to report that dead person, right?
right.
Okay. What you tell the jurors is that you still go a step further and you approach that individual that you believe to be dead, correct?
Right.
And you just told the jurors you went to the store to get cigarettes, right? Did you get the cigarettes before or after you saw the individual you believe to be dead?
I got cigarettes before.
Okay. So it's safe to say that you had just gotten in your car after having a conversation with the cashier from getting your cigarettes, correct?
No,
Okay. Let's take it a step further then. You get in your car and yet not only do we know you don't call law enforcement or
I'm
the ambulance.
confused. Your Honor, I'm confused. He's not doing the right order.
Excuse me, sir,
I'm sorry, I'm
Sir?
confused.
just one moment. Ladies and gentlemen, if I could have you all step outside just for a moment. All right, everyone, please be seated. Mr. Loomer, I'm going to explain something to you, and I want you to listen to me very carefully and internalize what I'm saying. The state asks you questions, you answer their questions, correct?
Correct.
The defense is asking you questions. You need to answer the questions that's being asked of you. The defense attorney can ask his questions however he wants to ask them, and he can ask them in whatever order he wants to ask them. Do you understand?
Yes, ma'am.
So there is not to be the back and forth with me
Yes, ma'am.
where you're telling me, well, Judge, he's asking the questions in a different order. He may ask whatever questions he wants to ask. If there is an issue with the question, then the state may or may not choose to object if it's a question that's objectionable or against the rules. Do you understand?
Yes, ma'am.
So there is to be no comment with me
Yes, ma'am.
about how you feel the defense is asking their questions. Do you understand?
Yes, ma'am.
Is there anything that you do not understand?
No, ma'am.
All right. Are they? All right. So the jurors are going to be on a short break.
Yes,
So
Judge.
as soon as they finish with their break, we're going to come back.
Yes, Judge.
Did anyone wish to invoke the rule?
Yes, Judge. I'd like to invoke the rule.
All right, the rule is invoked. If there are any witnesses to this case in the courtroom, you'll need to step out. Yes. Oh, on August the 1st, you will come. The client will be here. The attorney who's in Austin, he doesn't have to come on that day. So on the August 1st date, if you are up,
Okay.
then you all will begin jury selection on the 2nd. That way he doesn't have to rush down. All right, sure.
Are you okay?
Oh, it's no later than 9:30 a.m. And then testimony will begin in the afternoon. You're welcome.
2 times 7 drove by.
You already missed 10. Okay, so it's something that he's asking
Oh,
you.
my mom is-
Oh, my God.
Okay,
I got peppermints. Yeah, I have not eaten all day.
just again, take your time, listen to the question, and then just answer the question.
Okay. Just say yes, no, or I don't know.
Or if he asks you to just.
Why do I not? I don't have this.
It's really just like, you just have to read the question and answer his questions. So, you know, so I just-
What I meant. to say.
Wait until the end.
Oh, wait till the end?
Don't answer anything. He's trying to ask, make sure he's not asking a question. Then tell
I
him.
thought he was done.
Why it's always decent. Gotcha.
Mhm.
Okay.
On this one, you said she's sorry, but it didn't. I was scared. I knew that one was not on the agenda.
Mhm.
Can't believe.
Checks, and see if these cases have a date. If they don't, then have you want to put a date for them. This one, please go back. I'll write in here.
Yes.
Yeah, showed up to do a UA and then didn't do the UA enough.
Are you gonna?
They're gonna do a motion.
They're all here, Jim.
All right, thank you. Can you bring them in?
All rise for the jury.
Oh, please be seated. Right. All right, defense, it's your witness. You may.
Thank you, Judge. Okay, Mr. Loomer. Remember what I said, okay? I'm gonna ask you some questions. I'm not trying to mislead you or confuse you, okay? But I did tell you I am gonna go out of order, okay? All right, so you didn't get out of your car to notify the, I guess, the gas station attendant that you believe to be a dead individual outside of the store, correct?
No,
Okay. And you just told the jury you didn't call the officers or law enforcement either, correct?
no,
Okay. But yet you approached them and said, hey, are you okay? Right?
yes,
And you didn't ask them either, hey, let me call you an ambulance or the fire department, right?
no,
Okay. Now, let's just get this out of the way first. At that time, March 29th, 2022, you weren't employed with Heaven for Hope, correct?
repeat the question, please.
Yes, on March 29th, 2022, you were not working for Heaven for Hope.
No.
Right? You weren't working for Catholic Charities, right? You weren't working for the Salvation Army,
No,
correct? You weren't working for the Hope House,
No.
correct? You weren't working for any nonprofit organization that helped homeless individuals on the streets,
No.
correct? Is that right?
no,
Okay. And yet you're telling this jury that you picked up this individual and took him to your house, correct?
yes,
Okay. And so you're telling the jury that you did it out of the kindness of your heart, right?
yes,
But yet you told the jury that when you got home, the first thing you said to that individual was, don't touch anything, right?
yes,
You told them, leave your stuff in the front door,
yes,
right? According to you, you were so worried about this guy that you slept or that you stayed on the couch awake the whole night.
yes.
By the way, you just told the jurors that before, can I approach, Judge?
Yes.
I'm going to show you what's been marked as state exhibit number 5, Mr. Loomer. You told the jurors, and I'm going to hold it up here for them to see. You told the jurors that that is the, what do you call it, the scrub top or the, right? But this top was given to you by EMS, right?
No,
No?
no,
Okay, so who gave you this?
that
top?
is mine.
That is yours? Okay, because the question that was asked to you is, what were you wearing before this? And the answer you get to the jury is that you weren't wearing anything, right?
And I'm gonna object, that's mischaracterization for prior testimony.
Overrule.
Repeat the question, please.
You told the jurors that prior to putting this on, you weren't wearing anything, correct?
No,
No, you weren't wearing anything, or no, you didn't say
I was
that?
not wearing a shirt.
So you weren't wearing a shirt. Okay, so you have this strange individual. By your own admission, you're scared, right? And you're awake the whole night because you don't trust them, right? And yet you feel comfortable enough to sleep with a shirt off, right? To stay awake
Yes,
with a shirt off.
yes,
Okay. And you had your phone with you at all times, correct?
doesn't anybody?
Right, so you did.
I mean, yeah, it's somewhere around the house.
Okay. But again, just to make sure we're understanding you, right? You're told the jurors that this individual wakes up and he starts rummaging through your house, right?
Yes,
You told the jurors that you had your phone with you, right? But yet you don't call the cops, right?
yes,
You don't call them, right?
yes,
Yes, you call them, or no, you
No.
don't? You don't call them?
no.
Okay. Now, again, jumping out of order. Do you remember talking to a detective De La Rosa?
I don't know specifically who I
Do
talked
you
to.
remember talking to a detective on March 30th, 2022?
I talked to a lot of cops and detectives. I
Okay.
don't know who it was.
All right, and we'll get into that, okay? Let's talk about one of the inconsistencies you've given throughout this trial, okay? When you talked to Detective De La Rosa on March 30th, 2022, do you remember talking to him?
Yes,
Okay. Do you remember telling him that you claimed to have met this individual through a mutual friend by the name of Ramon
No.
or Raymond? You don't remember that?
no,
Okay. So if Detective De La Rosa puts in his report that you told them on March 30th, 2022, are you telling this jury that Detective De La Rosa Ramon came into this picture?
no,
You're telling the jurors that you don't know an individual by the name of Ramon.
yes,
Are you sure about that?
yes.
Okay. So you take this individual to your house and you're telling the jury that the clothes that that individual was wearing, you don't give him those clothes, right?
No,
Okay, I think you told him he started rummaging through your house.
not my clothes.
Did you give him anything to wear?
I don't remember.
Did you just not tell this jury that he was rummaging through your house and he took some clothes?
Yes, he took 2 pairs of scrub pants after I left the house to my neighbor's house.
So, okay, so when, let me step back again, not trying to confuse you. Okay, so when you take him to your house on March 29th, 2022, does this individual shower?
I don't know.
Well, how big is your house?
3-bedroom, 2-bath.
And you just told this jury that you had an eye on him at all times, correct?
Yes, yes,
Right? Because according to you, you've never done this before, right?
yes.
And you're telling this jury that you don't know if the individual that you don't trust took a shower that night?
I don't remember.
Okay. When this individual sleeps, is he wearing
He
anything?
wasn't on the sofa. He was in a chair.
The recliner. When he's sleeping on the recliner, the chair, let's just use your words. On the chair, is he wearing any clothes?
Yes,
What is he wearing?
I don't remember.
Okay. Your dog is with you at all times,
Yes, by my
Okay.
side.
by your side. All right. Now, let me go back a second. This morning, Mr. Loomer, and I'm fast forwarding a couple of years, okay? This morning,
Sorry,
June
say that
14th
again.
Yeah, I'm fast forwarding a couple of years. All right. June 14th, 2023. Right? You had a meeting with the gentleman over here to my right, correct?
You're talking about today?
Yes, June 14th, 2023. Today.
Yes.
Okay. How long did you meet with him for?
I got here at what, 8:15, and I met with him and Rose until we came down here at 10.
Okay. And during that meeting, you gave to the state, the gentleman to my right, you gave them another version of what happened on that day, correct?
No. Another version of what?
Of the incidents that happened on March 29th and March 30th of 2022.
No.
Okay. Let's take it again, one step at law enforcement, right?
Yes.
And you tell your neighbor that day, you told your neighbor, I think her last name is Sertucci, right?
I don't know.
You don't know the name of the neighbor who lives across the street?
She just moved in.
Okay. You tell this woman, I submit to you that her last name is Sertucci, okay? You tell this woman, hey, call the. You don't remember telling that to,
No,
so if Mr. Tucci comes in here and says, Mr. Loomer told me my house was just broken into. then
she
is-
was misunderstood. She misunderstood because I did not say my house was just broken into.
And you told her that this gentleman, this individual went to your house that morning to burglarize it, right?
No,
You didn't tell her that?
I did not tell her that. I told her call 911. That's all I said. I'm bleeding, I'm screaming, I call 911, call 911.
Okay. That same day, March 30th, 2022, multiple officers go to your house,
Yes,
okay? I submit to you, one of them is Detective De La Rosa,
okay,
right? He interviews you as to what happened, correct?
okay.
Do you recall that?
I was interviewed by quite a bunch of cops,
Okay.
yes.
And while you're meeting with him, your top shirt, you're not wearing a top shirt or a shirt, right?
Right,
Okay. And so the first story, your version of the events, is that this individual, right? This individual goes to your house and robs you, right?
no,
Do you not tell Officer De La Rosa that this individual goes to your house, burglarizes your house, and leaves?
no.
Later on that day, De La Rosa meets with you a second time, if you recall that, right?
It's all a blur to me, sir.
Okay, Mr. Loomer, let me just ask you one simple question, and I want you to be honest to the jury, okay? Are you telling this jury that you just do not remember anything that happened?
No, I'm not.
Okay, but some parts are a blur
Yes,
and some parts are not.
yes,
Okay. When you meet with Detective De La Rosa a second time on March 30th, 2022, okay? I submit to you that Detective De La Rosa had just met with the individual who you claim went into your house and burglarized you, okay? Do you recall Officer De La Rosa telling you your story is not true?
Objection, you're saying?
That'll be overruled.
You can answer the question.
I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Yet, I, what, repeat the question, please?
Do you remember Officer De La Rosa, Detective De La Rosa, meeting with you for a second time on March 30th, 2022, and telling you, Mr. Loomer, your story is not consistent?
Yes,
Do you remember truthful?
yes,
You remember him telling you, Mr. Loomer, let's start with that. That's when you finally, again, tell Detective De La Rosa that you picked up this individual the night before, March 29th, 2022.
I'm sorry. I gotta take a break. I feel like I'm gonna pass out.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to give you a brief recess. You've heard some evidence in this case. You're not start deliberating in your own mind or with each other. I'll let you know when it's time for you to deliberate. You're not allowed to view anything. I'm sorry, the other thing you're not allowed to do is any investigation, okay? So I'm going to give us a 15-minute break. We'll be back at 11:15. Everyone, please rise for the jurors.
In the restroom. I'm gonna throw up.
Sir. I will talk to the jurors
I think we
afterwards.
decided to pursue this case.
So, counsel,
Yes,
does your
Judge.
client have any other pending matters other than this?
I don't believe so, Judge. I think Hank confirmed that the marijuana misdemeanor was not filed.
All right, so, Mr. Contreras, I'm being told that the state is going to file a dismissal in your case. And if they file it, I will sign the dismissal. But I want you to realize something. Whatever brought you here today, you need to change your ways. You understand? Right. You're going to have to do better because your minimum sentence, if this case were to go forward, if the jury would have found you guilty, if your minimum is 25 years in prison, you understand? And what I can tell you as a former defense attorney and a prosecutor, in these type of cases, if a jury finds somebody guilty, usually they don't give 25, they don't give the minimum. Usually they give 80 years or life. As a prosecutor, I once had a jury give someone 99 years in prison. And then when I went back to talk to them, you know what they said? Stephanie, we were going to give the person life, but we thought maybe they would improve. Was that okay with you? So how old are you? You're 36 years old. You need to change your ways. You understand? Okay.
Oh, he did. He's like, yeah.
Yes. All right. Thank you.
You want to tell her the reason you told me?
I'll tell her off the record.
Okay.
All right. Well, then we will be back in court, not for this case, but our other cases at 9 a.m. tomorrow. But everything happens for a reason. That's what I always say. Now, for your reason, Dana, you can have the rest of the day